Fighting Couch Potatoes. I'm Kadawfi Crush, and I'm here with my boy Liquid Gold Steve.
We're talking about Samurai Simulator today, right?
And I'm here with MattMatt.
Samurai Simulator. Fuck that. It's a lot more than that.
Actually, today what we came here to talk about was a little game I love. Something I was introduced to a long time ago, many moons ago. Hosted on PlayStation 3, a little game called Way of the Samurai, Part 3. So this is a little game that I have just history with this version of the game, Part 3. My boys have played Part 1 and Part 2, and they bragged to me all about it and whatnot, and they eventually showed me Way of the Samurai Part 3. Which, Way of the Samurai, what it is, it sounds like a game where you just get to pick a samurai and go slicing and dicing.
We're gonna say right now, we are not the boys he's talking about.
Yeah, we're not the boys.
Yeah.
These are not the boys that have played 1 and 2.
Yeah, not these kids.
Not these children.
So what I was getting at was what Way of the Samurai is exactly is kind of like a samurai simulator. You get to be a random no-name samurai just dropped in the middle of a town, a country, city,
A battlefield.
a battlefield, pretty much.
The aftermath.
The aftermath of a battle that you lost, it appears. But
No, you didn't lose because you still are alive.
You lost. You didn't win that battle.
You're still alive. I count that as a win. I count that as a
In
win.
the world of samurais, yes, that is true. Technically, you should have committed harakiri, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, they say he's a Ronin, so I'm just going to say I wouldn't have committed it.
I mean, he didn't have a master of dishonor, so, you know.
He's just a nameless samurai.
He just had his own name to dishonor. But, so...
What a name.
So...
What a name.
Yeah. So in Way of the Samurai, you essentially just start the game. You get to pick a character. Not pick a character, but create a character. With very minimal apparel, face choices, things like that. They make sure you know from the giddy up there's a lot of stuff to unlock in the game.
Yeah.
Like hard mode, for one. They start you off with the option of easy or normal.
And we only picked normal because there wasn't hard, ladies and gentlemen, because fuck easy.
Yeah, we don't play on easy mode around these parts. Well, Kadawfi doesn't. I don't know about the other two.
You can kiss my ass. I stopped playing easy when I was fucking 10.
Now, as you guys know, one of us didn't answer that. So...
You play Yakuza on easy, man.
I don't fucking play Yakuza on easy. Kiss my ass.
Alright, so Samurai Simulator.
So Samurai Simulator. So just to kind of kick things off, they drop you off in the middle of a battlefield. Your guy's all fucked up. And up approaches 2 random villagers, farmers or something of that nature. And from this point, this is where you understand some of the uniqueness of the game. It is dialogue driven for the most part. Interactions that you have with people and conversations that you can have. And a lot of times in cutscenes, they give you 2 options. They give you the option to bow out and just disappear out of the conversation, essentially skipping the whole conversation, everything you can do with it. Or you can pull your weapon out, which is, again, essentially skipping the whole conversation, everything you can do with it, except it just adds a lot of aggression to the situation.
But that's every single cutscene. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was really a nice feature where you can either bow to the person that you're talking to, which is like the coward way out, the apology,
right?
Or you can pull the strap and murder everybody in the damn place, which I did most of the time.
Well, as far as that bowing thing, like a lot of times if you notice, like if you're in any kind of conversation, say it's a cutscene you didn't really fucking want to be in, if you bow out, he essentially just goes, nope, bows his head and gets the fuck out of Dodge. Mm-hmm. He's like, nope, never mind.
I did that shit by accident once.
You see, Kadawfi, that I really don't press that button a lot. I usually pull the strap or just listen to what they say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. With this game, once you pull the strap, you tend to start accumulating villainous acts, depending on who you pull the strap on. There's a lot of normal NPCs, normal everyday people you catch walking around, people doing a job, or people just kind of standing around waiting to say something to you.
Yeah.
So from that point forward, the game is pretty much open to you. From the moment those 2 guys walk up to you and you make a decision whether to converse with them or to run them off with your sword, the game is opened up to you. And there's many branching paths you can take to get there. There's even something like 20 to 30 endings for the game.
That's something, because me, Liquid Gold, and MattMatt never finished an ending.
Me, Liquid Gold.
You know you caveman.
Liquid gold.
Fucking Tarzan. Tarzan.
Well, I'm just saying that Liquid Gold and fucking MattMatt didn't get no ending.
Right, they didn't get any ending. So
I got plenty of endings.
No,
I got stabbed and stabbed.
What we actually did was, because this is a game I've been trying to get them to play for a while, just kind of needed the time to be like, hey guys, I got my PlayStation 3 over here. It's all plugged up. I got good controllers. Let's try it out.
Oh, man.
So what we did was, for the podcast, I let those boys get a 3-hour session of it. And after the 3-hour session, if they want to continue playing, they're welcome to. MattMatt actually had the shortest playtime out of the three of us. Matt, would you like to go ahead and kind of discuss what you discovered, what you felt, what you did during your 3-hour playthrough?
Okay. So, imagine this. You're a samurai, last survivor of the whole clan, right? And then 2 merchants walk up. And you see the river of death. And then you wake up in some random ass fucking house with an old man screaming at you to get the fuck out of his village. And then you accidentally bow to him because you press the wrong goddamn button and don't even know what the fuck is going on. No, but that's what you were talking about with those branching paths, is when those people walked up to me. I chose to converse, and my character just passed out, and I woke up in I was Takani village.
Takani, yeah.
Yeah. And the village elder was there and wanted to say something to me, and I immediately bowed, and he disappeared. All he was trying to say, because I found out in a later playthrough, is don't cause trouble in my village, and you're not welcome here.
Yep.
After he healed me. Thanks.
Yep.
I guess. But it was really weird seeing that. Like, going back through it, like, with that first playthrough, I was able to discover that I can stay just in that village and find my own storyline.
Yep.
Like, talking to the old lady, that goddamn old lady, wanting me to find her panties.
Yep.
The first mission that I did in that whole fucking game was find a lady's panties, and I failed it!
Because them crows are loving.
Goddamn! No, you're supposed to go back to... She tells you that she dropped something while doing laundry in the...
Kujigahara.
Right, the battlefield that you just came from.
Yep.
And you walk around and you finally find them through this death and decay that's going on, and the crows are eating the bodies. And as soon as you pick them up, the crows start following you, and I didn't realize that dumb shit. So I'm walking around trying to get back to the Takani village, and just, one crow gets way too close, and I try to slash him with my sword, and he took the panties straight off of me.
Snatched them.
Couldn't get him back, couldn't kill the crow to get him back. So that was just fail. And that's really cool, because obviously you can get the mission again if you try to talk to her again, because the bitch keeps losing her fucking panties over and over again. But it was really cool to see that, like, you'd go back to the village, and you'd have, if you wanted any more jobs, you'd have to tell her, hey, I fucked up.
Yep.
Which is a lot like Travis Touchdown, where people tell you that they hate you with all their hate. Shout out to anybody who fucking gets that. But from there on, I went to the Castle Midori. Right?
Yep. Midori.
The one with the blue guys.
No, that's...
Minori.
Castle Minori is the one with the Oka clan.
Yeah, the other one.
The blue guys is Castle Amana.
Amana. And I tried to join their clan. So here's how this happened. This is a short story, I might add. Like, walk in, they got tryouts going on, so I try out. Thinking I'm doing okay, I last through the tryout, get a cutscene. Hey, you didn't make the cut. So, I pull my sword out. And the instructor there slaughtered me.
Yeah, he's like, bro, you didn't make the cut, but you're about to get this one.
Really? Okay, fine. And what's really funny about that is, after restarting and watching Liquid Gold do that, that same dude is on the battlefield at the start of the game. If you pull your sword out on the merchants, you can walk around the battlefield and you can find the guy after the battle too. And obviously you can talk to him, and again, if you want to pull your sword out, you can. He's going to beat your fucking ass. He's not going to kill you, but he probably will kick your ass.
No, he'll kill you. He'll kill you.
If you pull him again.
Yeah, no, if you pull your sword out on anybody in that game, they will fucking kill you, given the opportunity. They don't like that shit. Very disrespectful. Very, very disrespectful. But that was your first run through.
That was fuck, man.
that was MattMatt's first death.
Basically, the story of that samurai. By the way, the samurai in our story's name is Shito.
Mr. Shito.
Mr. Shito. Liquid Gold has dubbed the Liquid Shito.
No.
For saying sake, we're not going to call him that.
It was me who dubbed him Liquid Shito.
Liquid Gold Shito.
I'm gonna back you up just a minute, and I want to get into that village, Takane.
Yeah.
Right. So Takane Village is essentially your main hub to the whole game. It's where your little house is at, your little bed is at. There's one merchant there, a couple save points, and there's even a blacksmith there.
To be honest,
through there, there's a lot of story that kicks off in Takane Village. Again, like with the elder of the village, you know, his story intertwines with a little boy who you catch out there doing sword training, and he's a little piece of shit.
my
and
least favorite fucking character.
He talks that cash money to you, but then there's a pretty girl there, Osai, which she is Koda's older sister.
And she does not like samurai.
And she does not like samurai.
She does not. And these three, the elder, Koda, and Osai, they have a very interesting story together later in the game once you survive that long and open up particular dialogues. But from there, in Takane, you know, you have access to Kujigahara, you have access to the guard gate, and you have access to the posting station. These three locations, Kujigahara is the battlefield we were talking about earlier. The posting station is what I like to call Chaos Alley. We'll get to that later. and then there's also the guard gate, which is where you can actually go and get your tutorial done. Essentially, most of the game is a tutorial for you, depending on who you're talking to. But to get your combat tutorial, you would go up to the guard gate and go to the dojo and learn from the masters there on how to actually play the fucking game. Liquid Gold, you also spent some time, you know, your first particular death scene in the game. What was yours like? What did you get into?
What was my first death? Because I've had so many deaths in this game, it really just kind of blends together. I've seen that red death screen so many times. It's
feels like Dark Souls.
It's like a brother to me. So when I first played, making Shito, balding, looks a little creepy.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we forgot to add. When we made our character, because me and Steve did it together, we made the creepiest motherfucker we could.
Well, MattMatt, when he met the two merchants, he passed out.
Yeah.
There's a third option where you can pull the strap, but you can also tell them to leave you alone. But they'll say some shit to you, then you can pull the strap or not. I usually pull the strap to get them the fuck out of my face, because you heard me say you leave me alone. Why you gonna talk some more shit?
I ain't ask you for that extra bullshit.
So when I started out, you get the same kind of weapons that you do from your last playthrough, which is kind of cool. That you can kind of have, like, you have a weapon safe. You have the weapons that you started out from the last playthrough, money. The only thing that changes is you always start out with 300 HP.
Yep, you always have low health.
Either you can keep that 300 HP, or you can pass out and they'll give you full HP from the village.
From resting.
I feel like Kuchikahara.
Yep.
I feel like that's more the main hub to me, because like you can go to both the castles. Mm-hmm. You can go to the posting station, and you can go to Omiki town.
Omiki town. You
can go to all those. I feel like Takane Village is more like the tutorial village, because it's easy missions. There's one bad guy. There's one like real big boss. There's the nameless samurai. You do have a save point. You have a couple save points. You have a sleeping place, and you have the younger brother, the younger
Dojima.
Oh man, I feel like that's more of the tutorial. When I played, I straight up told him to leave me alone. I went to Amani Village or Amani Castle, went to the enlist and beat it. MattMatt saw the place or the other cutscene that if you make it, and I did some jobs there. I failed one. You had to beat up a man, and this is kind of cool too.
Oh yeah,
there's a what is it called? A game mechanic. There's a mechanic in the game that you can change from the sharp side of your weapon to the broad side of your weapon.
Blunt side.
The blunt side. And
that has to hurt.
It hurts, but you only knock out people.
Right.
So I had to do that in one mission and failed it because I didn't hit him enough. You had to hit him 10 times. I must have hit him 9 times. I must have been off of my nav. And then I got murdered by somebody, and that was my first death. I can't remember exactly how I died because there's so many deaths I've had.
I've lived so many lives. Died so many times.
I feel like the guard gate is really nice to learn basics. Like, I've already passed the assistant. Mm-hmm. I went to the master. The master still thinks I'm a scrub, which I still am.
In the tutorial, the combat tutorial dojo?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was my first death. You just want me to explain my first death? You want me to continue?
Yeah, your first death was cool for there. Because, both of y'all, that day we did a 3-hour playthrough, y'all both had a couple deaths.
We had like at least 5 or 6.
I died 3 times.
And, your death was the absolute fucking funniest.
Was it when I ragdolled?
So there is. so in the game, there's a few mini games that you can kind of get into, and it kind of helps you become a better samurai overall. Your weapons can level up from it. Your skills can increase from these mini games. My personal favorite mini game is the one where the guy wants you to cut the fish, where you slice the chunks off the big ass fish. Depending on the weapon you have and the stamina and the durability of your weapon, you can slice that fish down to bones pretty fast. That's my favorite one. It's simple, it's easy, and it also lets you understand the mechanics of your weapon. There's another mini game, which, I don't do that much, but there's a lady in Takane Village who's harvesting radishes and needs them cut, but she doesn't have a knife. Up comes a samurai, and she goes, all right, cool, I'm going to throw these radishes at you, and you're just going to slice them in half. Oh, but beware, I'm kind of a dick, and I'm also going to throw bricks at you.
For no reason, right? No, there are many shrines, and that shit's hurt. He can't even heal either.
She be tossing them with one hand like they don't weigh a ton.
Yeah, chucks them 30 feet in the air. It's ridiculous.
Well, she'll psych you out, too. She'll, throw it for a second and actually throw it.
And, that is actually one of the mini games you can do and die from doing. Again, Liquid Gold had the best death. She slapped him in the face with one of them shrines or bricks or whatever, and
my whole body just went to a cartwheel.
His body turned into spaghetti. You ever played Gang Beasts? His body did that, just kind of flopped. And that was the end of Liquid Gold, Steve. I think it was your second playthrough, wasn't it?
I think it was because Kadawfi was like, "Hey man, look at that housewife right there. Hey, check her out. She gonna let you get you a mini game." And I didn't know I was gonna die. I skipped through the whole tutorial of what it was saying, the little list, and he said, "Oh yeah, if you get 0 on your health, you die, right?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And I just died, and I was like, "Oh."
Then you got bricked.
I had to start all the way over.
And mind you, these guys hadn't gotten the feel for the combat mechanics yet. They haven't really understood how the game really works yet. They just kind of went out there and, died. So, Matt, what was your second run-through like?
The second run-through, I went straight to... I told the people to fuck off. And then I went to the... it's not the guard gate. It's the Oka clan, their front door, and murdered everybody up there. I tried to murder everybody. 2 bitches ran off. And then I just killed their leader.
Yep.
Right in front of everybody. And then they tried to come back up to get the smoke and then got the smoke.
Get the smoke.
And what's really funny is I didn't even get a cutscene after that. I just walked away. Just left.
There go some dead bodies.
Well, that's the cool thing is when I come back, they're still dead because every time you play through, you have a set of people. Right? Every single person has their own story going on. Every single person has, like you said earlier, a job and their own thing.
Right.
Once you kill somebody in that playthrough, they stay dead, no matter what kind of job or anything they have.
Yeah, they're gone.
After that, I don't think I made enemies with the Oka, but I'm sure that I had staunched everything trying to join them in that playthrough. Because that was the one where I had went back to Takane, and then was killed by a mysterious samurai.
Yep.
A straw hat.
Yep.
The dude, he just showed up out of nowhere in the middle of this fucking
giant straw hat.
In the middle of a fishing village.
Thing.
I'm like, what the fuck? He pulled a sword out and fucking gutted me.
Yeah. That's some of the best shit. Is I could look at, because I've played this game a lot. And I know what the wandering samurai are like and what they're capable of. And as soon as they see the player, they're like, oh, I guess I'm going to fuck him up. And they never walk past you. They never go, never mind. They just I guess I'm going to kick your fucking ass.
Not unless you're Steve and you get lucky.
No, you walk, man. when you walk into like the posting station or the guard gate and you see a guy that has like a big old hat that almost covers his neck and got an opening on the front, you're like,
maybe I shouldn't fuck with him.
That motherfucker's funny looking. He must be a scrub. And then like as soon as he sees you, he's like, oh man, we're gonna throw hands.
My first thought is, how the fuck did he wear that all the way here? The second thought is, why is my head on the ground?
Fun fact: those hats or whatever are actually used as like monk wear. Those who like took a vow of silence or like a vow to like not be samurai anymore. That's something that they would wear so that they were nobody. Nobody. And I mean, obviously, assholes got a hold of it and was like, well, I guess I could go be nefarious while wearing one of these. No one would ever suspect me. They think I'm a holy man. And that's what we get in the way of the samurai. Speaking of that, there are 4 real factions in the game. There's the Tsukane village, which those people, like I explained earlier, have their own thing going on. There's also Omiki Town. Very similar to Tsukane village, except you can't rest. There's a couple shops. There is a job giver, Oryu.
Oka. Thing is, no, it's not. Or is it Oreo?
Or it's Oreo or something.
It's
a Y.
Is it Y?
It's a Y.
Oh.
Oreo or something like that. I'm just gonna call her Oreo for the day. She gives out jobs. Several different types of jobs. She actually tends to have you go killing people quite often. What she likes to do is there's a mass murderer or a serial killer or something around, and she constantly sends you after those guys. That's like her, like kind of like the panty with the old lady, how she always wants you to get your panties,
right,
or go get the children or whatever,
or beat a dude with a green onion.
Right,
I did that.
Oreo,
I can't believe I did that, but I did it.
Oreo tends to want you to go murder people. Nefarious people, or just people who are in her fucking way. Again,
she sounds a lot more evil than the rest of the guys.
Oh, she's pretty vicious, I think. There, like I said, older Dojima, the other blacksmith, he's there, and this is also a little town where you can get. Well, I don't really want to spoil all that yet, but there are partners in the game as well, people you can travel with, kind of making it kind of like a little bit more of an RPG than most things.
I've only met one. Guys, it was the lady that asked for 100 yen to be a bodyguard for a night.
And she's in Omiki Town.
Yeah.
Also, when you go to the castles, Castle Minori or Castle Amana, you can join those clans, the Oka clan or the Fujimori. The Oka clan and the Fujimori both have jobs as well. The reason why
which clan has the castle?
They both have castles.
No.
It's the Minori castle or the Amana castle.
But the Minori castle is the Oka clan, and the Amana castle is the Fujimori clan.
The Oka clan has the Minori castle, which is kind of a rundown.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's kind of a rundown, like it's made of wood for the most part, just like big logs in the front. Kind of
like they took it over.
It kind of reflects what they are.
Right. Raggedy fucking people. And then there's the Fujimori, who, based in the lore of the game, the Fujimori clan took over from whatever the last clan was. I can't think of it right now.
Shukurai clan.
The
Shukurai.
They were defeated. The Fujimori clan.
But the Oka clan wants to bring that clan back.
With Shuzen in charge, took over. Shuzen is kind of like a mini version of Lord Nobunaga, where he pretty much just wants to unify all of Japan, starting with Amana. He wants to unify everything in these feudal times. So the reason why I'm even bringing up these two places, or all 4 of these places with their job classes and all, is because in this game, you kind of have the ability to do almost anything you want as far as what the game allows. Like going around on a murderous rampage. You could totally do that. Anybody you see in the game, bar children and dogs, you can kill.
Man, there was one dog in the Oka clan that was
not
pissing
for
me off.
Steve's lack of trying.
I wanted to slice that dog's head off.
Yeah, well, Liquid Gold discovered if you hit a child, especially while on mission, you'll immediately fail that mission.
I discovered that too.
Or was it you?
No, yeah, because I finished the mission and then kicked a child in the back of the fucking head.
That's what it was.
Because it was the old lady. She gave me a mission to go find the children, and and the little girl kept fucking running up to me and kicking me in the shin. And so I found her older brother and kicked his ass in the back of the head. It was like tell or whatever her name is. Tell her about the mission, right? It's like completed, and it was like fail, immediate. Boss, you hit a child.
What's wrong with you, boy? But so when you do enough nefarious shit, depending on which side of town you're in, you'll end up pissing everybody off. You'll have random samurai coming after you, and I don't mean random samurais like the wandering samurai. I mean, random Fujimori soldiers, random soldiers from the Oka clan, or even in the Omiki town, you'll have sometimes Dojima whoop your ass for pissing people off enough.
He did that to me. When I beat that guy with the green onion, because now picture this, right? You see a lone samurai wielding the blunt side. By the way, make sure you turn on the blunt side of a green onion, because you could apparently cut people with green onions.
Damn right you can.
Fast enough, it's like a whip.
He's running away because he stole the town over his biggest radish. So I'm chasing him through the street with this fucking onion, right? Because I don't want to hit nobody with a sword. And I pissed everybody off. And I'm doing my mission. Because they don't know what's going on with him. They just see me beating a random dude. I pissed off the blacksmith. I pissed off the Oka clan there. I had the Fujimori after me. Everybody ganged up on me. Yep. And I'm doing my job. and then I lost him, left, thought I failed the mission, come back, he's still running around raising hell.
So with that, once you've pissed everybody off sufficiently, when you do it sufficiently, people will straight run from you. They'll, if your character's name is Shito, there'll be little thought bubbles pop up. Oh shit, it's Shito.
Oh shit, it's Shito.
And people just start hauling ass from you. They'll close up shop. People will talk to you. But if you want that back, if you want that village to come back around, go talk to your job giver. Your job giver. Your job giver will, I think, make you pay $1,000, 1,000 yen, and then go do a fucked up mission. And this fucked up mission is for you to get your your reputation back,
or die
with the village, or fucking die. Which I can explain that a little bit more later about how those missions work. Because anyway,
I don't give a fuck if they don't like me.
Fuck them. I don't care to finish the story. I'll never get an ending. I just keep killing people. So,
Shito, why do you keep killing people? Because fuck them. That's why.
Speaking of just killing people, Steve mentioned earlier that there's like a boss in the Takane village, the nameless samurai.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple times, and I was wondering if he was going to invoke his own self. Usually, if you talk to somebody and they don't like you, they'll invoke a fight anyway. But he doesn't invoke a fight. He'll see that you're a samurai and be like, man, you're kind of cool, man. I'm just going to leave you alone. But if you pull the strap out, he's going to fight you. And I died once to him. I haven't fought him again, though. I've seen him 3 times in the village, but other than that one time getting slapped.
That dude's always around. And
I think
you could even provoke him to fuck people up for you. Without having to be on his team and shit. So what I mean by that is so I discussed something earlier called Chaos Alley, is what I call it. It's the posting station. You go down the posting station during the day, there's a couple merchants and a bunch of people just doing their thing. There's a lot of samurai on the ground sleeping, and there's a lot of samurai just kind of hanging out. If you get out there and you have beef with anyone, and I mean anyone,
it's going to turn to chaos.
It's going to turn to a fucking bar fight. Like Steven Seagal level. Motherfuckers are fighting over here, fighting over there, people getting thrown through windows. It's
there ain't no windows. It's build a wall.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Because sometimes
Legos.
Because sometimes you can engage in a fight. Sorry. Hold on. But no, sometimes you can engage in a fight and actually retrieve help from someone else, or everybody will turn on you. It's a very scary thing when you've been fighting one guy for 5 minutes because he's stronger than you. And there's a way to tell when people are stronger than you or weaker than you. I'll get to that in just a second. Because he's stronger than you, and you finish the fight with 13 health points left, 13 out of 1,000, and you turn around and there's 10 motherfuckers waiting on you.
Well, shit.
Or you can just pull the ultimate move out and do what fucking Kadawfi Crush does and kill 82 people instantly.
All right, we're not going to get to that yet.
No. We're not going to get to that yet.
You have 2 options.
But we
kill 82 people, or there is always the Joestar family secret. Run away!
You know what? I've never run away in that in the game, but I bet you it probably would work if you get to the next village before you get hit.
Well, I mean, when you see them later, because like if you piss somebody off, like all the character models have names, right?
Yeah.
And if you piss off that one character model and don't kill him, next time you see him, he will want to fucking kill you.
Oh, that happened to me recently when I've done.
That also goes with like blunt attacks. If you decide to knock somebody out instead of killing them, like you were saying earlier, off air, like you were saying earlier, people will beef with you still. They'll still have problems with you.
I still feel like a blunt attack is really nice because it's like kind of, all right, for me in the game, I kind of put blunt attacks on when I'm in the village because it's kind of like I'm putting the gun on safety.
Well, yeah, you don't want to hit nobody. You
don't want to actually kill somebody. But if they come back, because I've had a bad amount of people come at me at the Oka clan and Castle Minori. I kept on knocking people out.
What you doing pissing off the Oka clan, man?
Well, I joined the Oka clan and they started talking shit in the castle. So I was like, you know what? I could whoop your fucking ass.
Steve joined the army.
Just to fight against the
Just to beat him. You know what? Fuck y'all.
I know. I didn't join. They gave me a spot because I whooped their guard's ass in the first time. Mm. They said, man, you kind of deadly.
Rare, man.
Let me give you a spot.
We need you on our side.
But they started talking shit, and I had to put them in their place. But I came back, and they said, man, it's time to fight.
Yep. So, obviously, in the way of Samurai, we do a lot of combat. There's a lot of combat involved, especially depending on how you play the game. I don't think there's a version of the playthrough to get an ending where you don't have to kill anybody.
I was about to ask you that.
Not that I know of. I personally have never unlocked all the endings. Just some shit I don't feel like doing.
Like a pacifist samurai. Talk everybody out of it like a Naruto.
I used to be just like you.
I'm not doing that swing set today. We will do that one day, I swear.
No.
So as far as combat is concerned, there's a multitude of different types of weapons. We have swords, we have spears, we have wooden swords.
We've got what?
Spears.
Spears?
We have wooden swords. We have a giant meat cleaver, and we also have specialty weapons that particular characters use. Those specialty weapons come with their own, what is the word I'm looking for? Move list. Come with their own move lists. Which, that's kind of one of the more interesting things about the combat in the game. There's several different types of weapons, and each weapon has its own stats, it has its own maneuvers, techniques, and it even has its own stance. What I mean by that is, when you get a sword, most of the time you're dealing with an upper stance, a middle stance, a lower stance, a side stance, a draw stance, a single stance, or if you end up with something awesome like a fucking ninja sword, there's the ninja stance. And there's also the spear stance.
Right.
Or guys, you can just make a sword and just make the stance if you own it.
Right. That gets really complex. You want to have used a particular weapon with a particular stance to unlock as many of the techniques as you can, so that way when you do make a sword, the sword is purposely built.
Yeah.
Right. In this game, there's the combat, it's a little janky, but in a fun way. You can stun lock the shit out of opponents, you can juggle opponents, but mind you, they can do it right back to you. And they will. They will put you in a corner. They will put you in a corner and slide you to death.
It played kind of like, Yakuza 3 plays a lot like that. I'm serious.
Right.
Like, it was...
Because it's a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Just like Way of the Samurai is kind of like a beat 'em up.
Right, I realize that, but I'm saying the gameplay feels a lot like Yakuza 3. It's because it was blocky, it's seamless almost in Way of the Samurai 3 versus with Yakuza, but like you had, like you said, the juggling, you had the blocky movement and everything. You could cheese the game through your blocky movement, but the game could cheese you right fucking back.
It was blocky movement, yeah. They meant to be janky in that, because overall, Way of the Samurai, we might be selling it right now like it's like the toughest game or what. It's funny as shit.
Oh, man.
It is, it's just a really fun, hilarious game. especially when you sit there and you get to talk to people a lot. Steve, game feel. When you put hands on it, I mean, Matt described it feeling a little bit like Yakuza 3. What did you feel?
I don't have like an actual video game to put towards it, but when I put my hands on it, it's kind of a mixture. Like, it's a beat 'em up, but you really don't want to use your bare hands, which you can use as a stance.
Awesome.
It's not the hardest game in the world. Like, I wouldn't recommend it for a child to play.
Right.
But if you give enough time, and I'm a scrub at games like this, you get enough play time in it, you get enough knowing what to do, and kind of go to the basic and go to the tutorials, ladies and gentlemen. Go to the tutorials, because it's going to teach you what to do, what you need, blocking, how to parry, and that's a great move.
Always is.
I felt like it was I feel like it was more smooth than you're saying it's blocky. Like, I don't know if you mean blocky by the way it looks.
It's dated. It's not like necessarily.
But it's not that dated.
It's not that dated.
Okay. Look at just per se. Look at Batman. Would you still play it? Batman Arkham Asylum. Would you play it?
What do you mean?
Would you play Batman Arkham Asylum today?
Yes.
All right, Matthew. That came out in 2008. The game came out in the same year. I feel like it's still smooth, and it doesn't. It's a game that is timeless. You can play it anytime you want.
Fair enough.
You can play it when it came out to now, and it still had that smooth feel to it. It has a great story that me and you have not found an ending to. We found a lot of death endings.
I found a lot of endings. I got stabbed multiple times by some local gang leader. That was great.
But
no, the Oka clan, because I was trying to stop walking around. What was it? The road.
You're on the road.
It was on the road, and you get as soon as you go onto the road. I think it's day one.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately get a cutscene where some guys are robbing a cart. They got their damn shitty ass clothing on because it's the Oka clan, and you go to talk to them, and they're like, "No, wait, we're not the bad guys. We're just trying to cut off the supply of the Fujimori." And obviously, that presents you with a choice. And you can also pull out your sword. You can bow to them, skip the whole thing. You can hear them out. You can join them. All that. I chose to pull a sword out. By doing that, after kicking their fucking asses, I might add, their local boss showed up, which was I forgot his name, but he wielded Yuma. Yuma had a spear, right? One of them stabbing spears. And he stabbed the absolute fucking shit out of me with. I got a whole anime death. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the guy does like a 3-piece and then winds up and then just over and over again.
It looks like E Honda slapping the shit out of you with a spear instead.
And I got the red screen and I'm still sitting there getting stabbed.
Oh yeah, you were getting destroyed like on the it was like that scene in Kill Bill where she was killing all the Yakuza and the screen just kind of went black.
Well, it didn't go black. It was kind of like shadows.
Yeah, you can see like a what's the word I'm looking for here? Not shadow.
Monotone.
No. You're fucking.
Starts with M. No.
Yeah, it does. That thing when
it's like a movie. It's a movie.
3 words.
No, it's a move. It's what happens in.
Hey, it doesn't start with an M. I got the word. It's silhouette. Anyway,
no, there's an art style for it that we're thinking of.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But the word I was looking for was silhouette. You got murdered in silhouette. Go ahead, Steve.
I just want to finish off my point on the game. It's you don't always have to stab somebody. You don't always have to apologize to somebody. Play what you play through multiple times because there's multiple ways to skin this cat. Because I mean, I played this multiple times, ladies and gentlemen, and there's been different kind of little tidbits. It's not been giant things, but there have been tidbits of dialogue that I have added just because I've played it a different way.
Right. One thing we failed to mention is every time you do die, no matter what you've got, your money, your clothes, your skills, all that, you carry that with you to your next quote unquote story.
Right.
So we did cover that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But it shows you that, like, because me and Steve played it for 3 hours and then we let Crush get his hands on it. And he immediately walked into the Oka clan at the front gate where I murdered those guards. and quote unquote joined them, got all 3 bosses in the same room and murdered them all and took over.
And then took over.
That's literally like the next day after the battle when I'm searching down panties. Crushes up there, fucking the boss and everything already.
I mean, it can happen fast in that game. I mean, it's a matter of knowing what's going to trigger what, how to trigger, and where, really. Because I mean, sometimes you can like that, like the cutscene with the rice, where the guys are going to steal the rice. Steve discovered what that cutscene actually does. Steve,
that's that cutscene actually. If you pull up on them, you can fight the ogre people. Mm-hmm. And if you stop and actually listen and let them bring the boss in there, the boss will talk to you and say, hey, man, you kind of did my people up, but you're kind of strong, so we kind of need you.
We don't want to be your enemy.
And if you do that and then you go to Castle Minori, you can just talk to the guard leader and he'll send you straight to the 3 leaders. And the 3 leaders will just pop you right into the gang.
Yep.
Not like how MattMatt did it, where you have to beat up the guard leader.
Hey, fuck you. It was in my fucking way.
And then the baddest female samurai in that game.
It's Sue. That's how I'm going to pronounce her name.
Sue.
Yeah, good
bad
luck.
bitch. That's how I'm going to call her.
Super big bad bitch pants.
Because, man,
go ahead.
Guys, I'm telling you, I fought her multiple times in practice. And then I fought her once by myself, actually. And she did me up. She was doing backflips and shit on my head. She was, man.
And those are moves you can learn.
Yeah.
Right? If you get a weapon.
If you get her weapon and then learn all the skills with her weapon, you can have her entire moveset. She is actually my favorite character from the game. I'm actually going to pause you here for a second, Mr. Steve.
She's a single stance, though, right?
She has the single stance.
Yeah.
And she's very fast, very agile. Like he said, she was doing flash kicks. It was like fighting. If you guys ever played Tekken, it was like fighting Asuka with a sword. She
just had a third leg.
Good God,
she was vicious. I remember my first 100 playthroughs. She killed me at least 8 times just via trying to practice with her. Because she'll kill your ass if you ain't got enough health. She'll go ahead and light you up.
I don't know what you're talking about, Kadawfi, because every time like I fought Shinosuke, he didn't kill me on the battlefield. That's the lead. That's like the right-hand man in the Fujimura.
Yo, he's killed me on the battlefield.
I don't know what you did.
And probably tried to keep... All right, so check this out. When you're getting your ass cut and the opponent puts their sword away, stop fighting.
Yeah,
stop fighting.
There'll be a little bubble, guys, that says, like, that's enough, and he'll put the sword away. But if you keep on slicing, he'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
then.
All right, so you really wanted this heat. I'll give it to you with your pickle chin ass.
That's probably what happened. That's probably what happened when they said this time.
Most likely. That's probably what really happened to me. I know Itsue killed me plenty of times. It took me forever to get her sword. I prefer to use ninja blades or lighter weapons that allow you to move faster. Those are the kind of weapons I like to use in that game. They come with counterattacks and just kicks and sweeps and finishing blows.
I do like that low sweep, but I think
now the ninja weapons. Those are, how do you obtain those?
By killing ninjas.
No shit.
Now I'm actually gonna bring up a little bit of something here. All right, so in the game you have the Wandering Samurai, which we talked about earlier. All right. There's also the Samurai Hunter. In the game, the guy you save at, he's a biwa player, a guitar player, a banjo player, whatever you want to call it. He has a little guitar thingy, and he'll generally let you listen to his music while he's saving the game for you. He usually has some stupid fucking dialogue. There's like 20 of them in the game or something like that.
He does have a little bit of
and here's the ticket. They always sit still. But on certain nights, you'll see one of them fuckers walking. And me, being the dumbass I am, walked right up to one and went, hey dude, can I save the game? He was the Samurai Hunter.
No, you can't.
He was the Samurai. And he uses a ninja weapon. That was actually my first ninja weapon. Where I even realized you could get ninja weapons in the game. So I killed him probably the 8th time I ran into him. Because he used to catch me slipping. That motherfucker used to catch me with like 2 health.
Oh, you want to save?
He was like, oh no. But That's where I would acquire ninja weapons from. I'd kill him, and then there's other people in the game. There's actually like a secret ninja weapon where this girl shows up on like some day. She's hanging out behind a building in Omiki Town, and she has nothing to do with nobody. But you can kill her and get a really nice ninja weapon. So fuck her.
She's a ghost.
No, she's a real person. I just don't know what her point is other than to die.
Oh,
for that ninja weapon.
I think I met her.
You might have.
She was on the backside of a building at night for me.
Yeah.
It was like Konohara or something. That was her name.
I don't remember.
That bitch a ghost. Y'all got to prove me otherwise.
Alright.
No, man, like, if you
survive more than 3 days.
Man, if you go to different parts of the town, like, you go into the little spots, you'll find small things. Like, you'll find food, you can find
people.
Yeah, people. I don't think you can find weapons.
You can find quest items. You can find, finding weapons. You're not just going to randomly find weapons, except for in Kujigahara. You can randomly find weapons on the battlefield.
Because there's going to be...
And those are shit weapons.
Well,
Sometimes
they're shit weapons. Another thing, because you guys only played on normal, the weapons and equipment get better on hard. And, of course, on insta-kill mode. Insta-kills are something completely fucking... They can be OP sometimes. And this is actually going to lead me to something I was going into earlier. So, insta-kills. Essentially, you parry the hell out of somebody's attack, and it opens them right up for an insta-kill. You'd end up having to press, quick time event? A quick time event? You either have square, triangle, circle, R, one of those buttons.
No, it's X. It's just the
face buttons. Excuse me. You'll have one of those buttons to press to trigger your insta kill, and I mean, essentially, you'll do a 1 slash on somebody and light them up. Depending on what weapon you're using is going to depend on which 6 insta kills they show on screen. With that, there are certain characters that you cannot insta kill, and this kind of depends on your level as a samurai. What I mean by that is there's your poobity poops that have like a yellow name bar. Then there's the guys who are slightly better than the poobity poops. They have a red name bar.
You can still
And then there are the motherfuckers with the purple name bar.
Yeah, there's no chance.
You are not getting an insta kill on them. You lucky you're gonna fucking survive.
You can parry them.
You can parry them,
but that's it.
That's about. It'll a good timed parry will stop your weapon and you from taking damage if you can time it well. But it also will leave your ass open if you're not fast enough to retaliate or to get back. With that, there's the insta kills like I'm talking about. If there's enough people around who want to fight you, if you trigger one insta kill, motherfuckers just keep walking in a conga line to you. And like next thing you know, if you insta kill everybody, you'll be bodies and weapons all over the floor. You'll be standing on top of your enemies. It can get pretty vicious depending on how many enemies are available for you to kill. Depending. With that, combat can be kind of detailed. I don't want anybody to think that just turning the game on, you'd be able to go out there and mash square and triangle and be able to do something. Because that's going to get you murdered.
Oh, you'll get done up.
It's going to get you murdered real fast. Blocking is a serious mechanic in the game.
Sidestepping,
jumping sometimes will really help you get out the way.
I didn't get sidestepping. Like blocking I got, but counterattacks was where I was at. Like block back.
Right.
Over and over. And grabbing. I'd be throwing motherfuckers.
And the grab attack, your guy reaches out like he's grabbing the last Oreo out of the cookie jar and gets a hold of you and then like Spartan kicks you across the screen.
It slowly grabs you though.
It's a ridiculous kick. Like you see people rolled up like a roly-poly just flopping across the screen. It almost never kills unless they have like no health.
Mm-hmm.
But, combat in this game, like I said, it's a very funny game, but they do take the combat very seriously. Again, if you die, they start the game over. Because it's like, you weren't good enough to enjoy this game. Try again, motherfucker.
With the same moveset and everything.
Yep.
And the same stances. And you keep everything, which is the great thing about it. It's like you died, but you at least get to keep everything, which kind of makes me feel that in this game, how you can kind of create a character, it's more that your character is just a new person. Like, it's like how you guys were explaining Borderlands. With Grimgar?
Yes.
How his brain just goes back into a different body.
Oh yeah,
that's what I think of Way of the Samurai is because you're restarting with the same weapons or different weapons because you can change your weapons out, in and out. You can do different items. I wish you had more selection, like you could pick 4 or 5 weapons in your weapon wheel.
I think 3 is sufficient for a human being to carry.
Yeah, that's true too.
Put one in his teeth. Fucking One Piece. Bitch ass One Piece.
Talking about like insta kills and chain kills.
In jail for that shit.
I hope so. I almost got us banned on Reddit.
Go ahead, Steve.
So, how Kadawfi was talking about like chain kills and insta kills. I really I found out how to finally do it, which you parry and then you do the quick time event.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to the Fujimori clan and to enlist. And the first person I faced, it was like the very beginning of the battle. First person I faced, I fucking parried, killed him. And there was the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. It was just kept on going. And I killed everyone. And he was like, "Very impressive. You did great. You will very much enjoy." And then I pulled the strap on him, and then he murdered me.
Hold on, little buddy.
Shinosuke, that mother, he's the right hand man for a reason, man. He can throw the hands.
Oh yeah, I mean combat gets like just downright crazy in that game. With that, they also let you have partners. You had little tag team partners we were talking about earlier. Like Steve said, he met the widow on the bridge. She shows up at night. I believe she shows up right at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock is when she first arrives in Omiki Town on that bridge. She is making money because her husband was dead. He's dead. And so she uses his spear as her weapon to get out there and help you fight. Not all partners are combat able. There are some partners that do little special things for you, like they'll heal you, or they'll put money in your any money you gather into your safe. Some of the characters, they have the option of giving you the access to your weapon locker, even when you're away from the house.
So pretty much, they're your weapon locker.
That person can be your weapon locker, right?
I got a caddy with me.
You can also take those. You can also have one of these people live with you if you do enough. If you spend enough time with them, do enough missions with them, and get your friendship points up high enough,
your rapport.
You can take them. Well, friendship points, your rapport. Yeah, you can take them back to your little shack and show them your shack, have a conversation with them, and then they'll ask, like, "Hey, can I live here?" And you're like, "Yeah, come the fuck on."
You live here now.
And you still get benefits from them while they live there with you. There are 14 different partners, one of them being male. My favorite partner is a little gal called Momiji. You meet Momiji outside of Amana Castle, I think on day 3. And when you walk past her, she's like, hey, fucker, hey. And you're like, hey, what's up, bitch? And she's like, you killed my dad.
I found her.
And
I beat her ass.
Yeah. So here's the deal. If you don't whoop her ass, and just straight apologize to her, hit the bow button, she'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Why are you bowing? And you're just like, well, you can kill me since I killed your dad. My fault. She's like, well, that doesn't feel so good. I tell you what, can I just be your friend? Or you can beat the dog shit out of her with blunt attacks, knock her out. We'll see her tomorrow.
That's what I did.
And she'll humble herself. She will humble herself. Hey, my fault. You kicked my ass.
That's what's really funny with all my playthroughs is like for the most part, I didn't kill anybody.
Right.
Like I obviously I attacked them. I used the blunt side, but like I tried to avoid that just in case.
Right.
And people would show back up. They'd be mad or they'd apologize.
Right. Sometimes they just
except for those guards at the gate, I murdered them.
They didn't get to run
away.
They
didn't get to run away.
They got to stay dead. But yeah, she's my favorite. She uses that spear. And, not the spear. No, she uses the sword. Excuse me. Yukino, she uses the spear, the wife, ex-wife, widow. Anyway,
one of those things.
She uses the sword, and she's actually really good. There's been a lot of times where she actually did cover my ass. If you end up doing chain kills while you have a partner, you'll actually just see your partner in the background, like, just watching you murk.
Nope. Not the way.
Well, I guess you're going to do that. The partner characters are really good. They're kind of difficult to obtain. Steve ran into one he called a hooker.
She looked like one of those massage parlor hookers.
I'm surprised he didn't choke her. Not enough Jameson in Japan, I suppose.
There's enough sake though.
I drank sake. Come here, bitch.
You guys can go fuck yourselves.
There's a multitude of items and things you can collect. Like we said earlier, there's a blacksmith. The blacksmith, if you get enough items to develop yourself a weapon, you can take it there to him and, make a weapon. You can also upgrade those weapons. There's several different ways of maxing out the power of your said weapons that you have.
You can only max out enough durability, though.
Right. Durability, I think, goes up to 5. And then,
sometimes.
And then, if you're good enough with the blacksmith, he can turn your weapons into like holy weapons or demon weapons. And with that, my weapons don't have durability breaks anymore. A lot of my ninja weapons. Because personally, I like to specialize in breaking your weapon. I don't want you to have a nicer weapon than me, so fuck you. That's how I feel about it.
I guess Liquid Gold's gonna figure that shit out.
Oh yeah. Samurai points. Liquid, you discovered what those do. You discovered how samurai points work.
Well, I learned that I didn't learn how they work. I've learned that you can collect them from doing certain things. You can lose them from doing villain acts.
Yeah.
And you can earn them. I earned 800 by just living for 6 minutes.
And not being a piece of shit.
Not being a piece of shit. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you can not be a piece of shit and get samurai weapons or samurai points.
That's right.
And be a nice person.
So what the points do for you is they actually unlock a lot of those locked things for you. Steve today unlocked dual wielding. And dual wielding is a very fun way to get through the game, especially if you're good. I like to dual wield ninja swords, duh. Liquid Gold is trying to learn if we can, which I don't think you can, dual wield those really long katanas.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be really awesome, but I think in real life you'd cut your own fucking head.
Well, hey, do the draw stance. Be like Yoshimitsu.
Well, to be honest, Kadawfi, I did dual wield a long sword and a short sword.
Now, you can do that, right?
But with my new created weapon, was not able to. I don't know why.
Because it was too.
I'm guessing it was too low level.
Two long swords.
No, it was a short sword and a long sword.
Earlier today when I watched you had two long swords and you were trying to dual wield. You say
the section is a short sword and it's a side stance in the villa.
Oh, that's right. You're
the
right.
villa.
I wonder what stopped you from doing that because you can do that.
I'm guessing because was not able to do that until my section was like a level above 15 or something. Because my section is like a level 18 or 19 right now. I don't think
that has anything to do with it, but we'll check into that a little bit later. Again, there's dual wielding. It's fun stuff. The samurai points also unlock your costumes, your other characters. You can actually wear the skin of a different character. And well, I mean, you're not like...
I know. I'm being a dick.
It doesn't put the lotion on its skin. He
just rubs it in.
He just got the hose again.
But yes, I learned that today that you can actually, if you use blunt attacks and don't kill the person that you face, because I did get the girl as one of the NPC costumes. You can get NPCs as your costume and use them. I used one of the giant people, Matthew, and when I pulled the strap out, all you saw was his hands when he pulled the little sword out of his pocket.
Oh my god!
Like he was all big for it. Like, and all the cutscenes with the giant man for the NPC looks so wrong because he's too tall for the camera.
That's what I like about older games that they don't really do nowadays is give you shit like that. You know, like Star Wars: The Force Unleashed was really good for that, giving you different characters that you like. People who would never be in this situation right now doing this dumb shit.
Oh yeah,
and you don't really get that with a lot of things now. Like a lot of games don't do what this game did, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I remember PlayStation 3 in general. Most of the games that I had were like very creative, very innovative, and just wanted you to have a shit ton of fun. I noticed that that once we got into the newer generation of games and consoles, they just weren't as fun. There just wasn't as many like risks being taken to have a fun game. You know what I mean? It was like, well, we know if we put great graphics and fucking DLC in it, these dumbasses will buy it.
That's why I feel like nowadays the new kind of thing is there is good stories in some of the games nowadays. Yeah. I don't think there's not like all games are just graphics and DLC.
I think 90% of them are.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of games out there that Red Dead is not just graphics and DLC. Red Dead or Red Dead 2 is not just graphics and DLC.
Right.
But there's a lot of games because they have this giant fucking data that you got to get on your fucking PlayStation or Xbox.
Right. And we're talking about you, Call of Duty. Fuck you.
And it's all, and all it is just graphics.
Right.
And DLC.
Graphics and DLC, and it's just like, well, what about the fun I was supposed to have? Yeah. What about the little extra doodads here and there that I wanted?
But they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a flying fuck about you. And again, this is kind of why I've regressed into playing older games again. Going back to what I enjoyed and finding new things from that timeline that I didn't play before.
I wanted to ask you something, Kadawfi.
What's happening?
And I've been itching at the bit to ask you.
Hold.
All right.
Wait. Itching that bit.
I'm going to interrupt you just 1 second. So what Steve has done, Steve has taken our records from our save states, and he looked at my record, and he looked at his record, and he made a comparison. I have 69 hours and some change. And
nice.
Matt and Steve has something like total. Y'all have, 8 hours total together?
Well, let me explain the records. Because, I looked at the records, and this is not like a new thing. There's a lot of games that have records that they put, which is cool, and this is kind of cool to have. I just want to bring up like the main ones, like our highest chain kill was mine, which was 11. The fastest clearing times cleared, most days that passed, how much distance you traveled, how many kills you killed, or how many people have you killed?
How many kills you killed?
That killed me a lot of kills.
There's total instant kills. How many times you used a blunt attack? How many times total that you used a villain axe? Apologies you've done. Your favorite item, accessory, weapon, and your mortal enemy. I'm gonna ask Kadawfi about his mortal enemy, but I looked up my record and I was like, man, that's kind of a decent record. And then
you want to talk about your record? I mean, you got to put mine on blast.
We can't.
What's up with your record?
All right. My highest change was 11. The play time, and I played a little bit more than what this is. This is a little bit of an older record. Play time was about 7 hours, 11 minutes. The most days that passed is about 5. I've had 79 kills, 24 insta-kills, 16 villain acts. I've only apologized 5 because fuck everybody else. I ain't apologized for shit.
Except for them 5 times. Sorry.
I think those are mine.
Because you're a little punk ass.
Well, no, the villain acts I know.
Times cleared is none, ladies and gentlemen, because me and MattMatt never did it. And the fastest clear time is not going to happen because he even cleared it. So, Kadawfi Crush.
What's happening?
All right. So, and my bad, guys. My total samurai points was 0. Now it's 800 because I had none.
True neutral.
I mean, at one point y'all were in the negatives.
Yeah,
on samurai points.
Because the villain act's probably from my side.
Both of y'all were just assholes at first.
But Kadawfi Crush has 17,400 points. His times cleared is 10.
Right.
The fastest time you ever done it is in 58 minutes, right below an hour.
Yeah.
Most days you pass is 17, so you really didn't, you just want to speed through these things. You didn't care.
Now, that 17 days is a long time.
So, we had 79 total kills. Kadawfi had 1,755 kills. And this ain't the best part. Hold on, Matt, this ain't the best part. His total insta-kills were 1,400 of them. So only about 300.
So 300 you killed straight up. The rest you bullshit.
I insta-killed the shit out of him, bro.
He did apologize a lot. 110 times out of all that time he played.
Yep.
69 times. Yeah. And I wanted to bring this up, okay? Because I thought 11 chain kills was nice. Matthew, you want to know how many chain kills he's done?
Let's hear it.
82. Who in the...
Where was you at?
I asked him there offline.
You know where you at.
So
you knew where you at. Where were you at?
So, hold on. So, guys, he's about to explain the story of how he got 82 chain kills. I want to know where he's at. So, explain the story.
Okay. I don't like Shuzen and the Fujimori clan. I fucking hate them. Shuzin, to me, is just as bad as the fucking pickpockets in the game. And yes, there are pickpockets. They'll bump into you and haul ass.
Yeah, I fucking chase them.
You gotta chase them down and slap the shit out of them or something. But
they won't drop your money, though.
You cannot let them... If you kill them, you get your money back. If you kill them, you get your money and all their shit back. Fuck them. So I don't like Shuzin Fujimori and friends. So I always tend to join the Oka clan. I love the Oka clan. I've done pretty much all the missions you can do with the Oka clan, like all the endings and cutscenes. And one ending that reoccurs a lot with the Oka clan is whether you take over the clan or you follow behind the clan or whatever, is that Shujin Fujimori and friends show up at your door. And if you remember, we have that big sorry-ass wooden base. They show up, knock the door down, and just start rampaging. You can run away like a coward. You could stay and fight like a man and die. Or you could stay and fight in hopes that motherfuckers will stop showing up. Here's the trick. They never stop showing up. They never stop until you progress the cutscene forward. That is where most of those skills come from. Is out there gathering as much food, as many scrolls, as many weapons as I can gather, as much money as I can gather. I will pretty much stay out there for like an hour and a half just murdering. And then my rival shows up a lot of the time in that battle as well. My rival is part of the Fujimori clan. His name is Kiri.
Your mortal enemy.
My fucking mortal enemy. He is a ninja. He has the coolest ninja sword in the whole game. It's like a snake sword. And he has some of the best movesets in the game besides Itsue. I would love to see those two go at it. That would probably be a really cool fight. Anyway.
So they never happened?
Not that I've seen. Again, I only have 10 of the... 10 of the 22, 25, whatever endings.
Hold on, you've only cleared it 10 times. You really... And I checked his endings, guys. He really only has 6? Something like that. 6 altogether. Because a bunch of those endings, once you fuck with the Oka clan like I do, they'll lead you right to the same ending. No matter what it is that you do in the village. Like the other day when you guys saw me take over the village, I was probably 2 steps away from getting bombarded by the rest of the Fujimori clan. I was probably like 2 cutscenes away from that shit. Yeah, it was like it was about to happen. And that would have been one of the endings? Yeah, that's one of the endings. Because if you die there in the battle, then it's not an ending. But you have the option, depending on what you've done throughout the game, to walk out the front door. When you walk out the front door, it's you and like 5 of your best homies. And y'all get clapped by like 100 people. Y'all get done the fuck. They even tell you in the game, it's like, oh, well, a nameless samurai gave up his life for no fucking reason. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, no, it fucking sucks. Yeah, it's kind of for no fucking reason. But, what was the question you asked me? I was just asking how you got 82 chain kills, because, guys, you have to have, like, people just coming at you every single time after you do that one parry to jump in the line. That's every time. On the line. I mean, well, also in that castle, sometimes when you're doing your chain kills, you actually can exhaust the enemies for a moment and they have to like kind of reload. Because like, you'll kill so many people, which you've noticed in the game, normally when you kill somebody, the body stays until you leave the area. You kill enough fucking people, the bodies have to disappear. You know what I mean? It's kind of like SmackDown vs. Raw when all those, the tables finally disappeared after 4 or 5 were destroyed. Right, yeah. They have to disappear so the game can run properly. But I mean, the weapons and all the items will sit right there. Yeah. They'll sit right there. Be in boxes. That's right. They'll be in boxes or just be in little packages again, or rice balls, whatever. Rotten rice balls. Rice balls. Scrolls, which I love scrolls. I don't know if you guys have seen the scrolls or not yet, but the scrolls actually can allow you to learn moves. A couple times I've seen. Or they can boost you. And I've bought a couple off of merchants too. Yeah, that's where I used to get most of my ninja scrolls. I did want to ask you this, Kadawfi. What's the difference between a skill learned and a skill matched? I don't really know the skill matched one that well. Okay. I think, if I can remember right, I think it's about like when you have like the timing of a skill down, like somebody else using it towards you. I think when you're able to match the skill, it's a skill that you can also learn. But I think you have to parry it just right. Oh, and then you learn. Right. Okay. I think that's what it is, but I don't often parry. I like to break weapons. I've only really broken a couple weapons, and there was a real nice one where I made a big guy had an upper stance, and he broke the weapon. But what was really cool was the blade came right beside my face and stuck into the wood right beside me, which was kind of cool. I was like, man,
a little cinematic for you.
Hey, that's what I kind of like about the game. It's like the game it's 2009 or 2008 when it actually came out.
2008.
Yeah. That was, but it's like, it's not old. It's not old enough to be called dated.
I don't think it should be called dated. Okay. I think it can be called dated. I do. Just because of how it plays. Nothing else plays like that anymore. You know what I mean? Games pretty much stopped being like that when PlayStation 4. Shit. Later in the PlayStation 3's lifetime, games kind of stopped being. Again, we ended up with Batman, Arkham City, and Arkham Asylum.
Asylum was 2008.
Right. I had Arkham City on my PlayStation 3. And, I mean, that game...
It all changed with The Last of Us.
That game plays so different. Well, Arkham City was before The Last of Us.
2 years.
The Last of Us was like one of the last PlayStation 3 games we got. It was like one of the last ones. But like, that was like the top of it. Whereas Way of the Samurai was like in the beginning or the middle of PlayStation 3's life cycle. So I mean, it is a little dated, just how it plays. But it's still, it's like turning on Super Mario Brothers, on the Super Nintendo. Like, okay, it's dated. Nothing else plays like this anymore.
But I get it.
Fuck, is this fun?
So would you put it? Okay, you can't put it as dated, but it doesn't play like usual modern games. You can't call it a classic because there's not a lot of people that really talk about it.
I mean, honestly, I think it's a hidden gem. Personally,
okay.
It didn't review well.
I didn't review well. That was kind of like Tokyo Extreme Racer. When you had Need for Speed, but you had Tokyo Extreme Racer, real motherfuckers knew what a real game was at. You know what I'm saying? So, Need for Speed, I mean, who doesn't recognize Need for Speed? But when you're looking for that you can go Tokyo Extreme Racer. Or even better, Gran Turismo. This game will never be a Gran Turismo, but it'll certainly be...
Well, they have 4 of them, so I think it'd be...
5? 6?
Was there 5?
6. Like 6 of them.
Gran Turismo?
It's like
7. No. 7 is the newest one.
Oh, yeah, 7 now?
No.
Yeah. PlayStation 5, yeah.
I was talking about Way of the Samurai.
Oh.
Way of the Samurai, I think it's just 4. I never played part 4 at all. I opened it up and was like, nah, this ain't.
Well, it had to at least have a cult following to have 4 fucking games made.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, same with like Monster Hunter. Like, nobody was really playing Monster Hunter until it came out on Wii. And then it was like, oh shit, we're all... And then PlayStation was like, well, can we get that back? Can we get that back?
So you're saying
Wait, Nintendo, don't do that.
So you're saying Nintendo made it great and then PlayStation wanted it back?
Pretty much. I mean, because
then it went back to Nintendo.
Monster Hunter was the same formula for like ever. And then Monster Hunter Tri came out on the Wii. And that was the one where you go swimming and all that cool shit. And I'm going too far.
So Way of the Samurai, if you put it on Wii, would you play it?
Yes. Yes. I would love to play that on Wii. Especially with,
you'd be looking stupid as hell doing that.
I don't give a damn. When I had a Wii, boxing or anything that made me have the Sonic and Mario at the Olympics.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that Wii game that was kind of like a mixture of a Western and a samurai game?
Oh, Red Steel.
I wanted to play it.
I never got to play it.
It was dope. It was actually dope. I didn't keep it because I was waiting for No More Heroes, but it was pretty good.
When GameFly was a thing.
GameFly's still a thing.
Is it? No shit. We didn't destroy it yet. Huh.
Well, when I was like deep into GameFly, it would be always not available. I was so mad every time.
I thought Steam would have killed that.
Yeah, Steam should have killed that.
Overall, it sounds like Liquid Gold is going to continue playing this game. Obviously, I have like a little quest going on in the game. I'm trying to collect all the ninja swords so I can make the bestest amazing ninja sword. And MattMatt, what are your interests in continuing or not?
I want to continue. It's one of those ones I don't have access to, which is my biggest problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also one of those ones when I picked it up, I absolutely saw the replay value.
I was telling you, it did say that it's It's on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and as of 2016, it's on Microsoft Windows.
I don't have any of those things. I got I got a PlayStation 1, I got a PlayStation 2, I got a 4, and I got a Switch. If it comes to Switch, I'll fucking play it. I'll play the fucking shit out of it.
All day.
No. For real, it was one of those.
Then.
Probably not. You'll never get that. People are scared of that.
I wouldn't want a remaster. I would like Way of the Samurai Part 5. I would like Part 5 on modern consoles with the same love that was put into this.
But you gotta go Tsushima now, but that's different.
Yeah,
that's different. I know.
Game, yeah.
But you didn't play 4, so how would you say that 5 be?
I mean, I touched 4 and just didn't like it. I didn't like the environment. I didn't like the way the characters looked, the models.
Didn't give you a choice straight up?
I just didn't like it. I was like, this isn't the game I came here for.
Did you ever play the first or second one?
Jay and Dave did. I kind of watched Jay for a little while. And shit, the other day, Dave and I were talking about it, and he was kind of giving me some more details about it that were not missing, but were things that were improved upon in Way of the Samurai 3. But as far as continuing, Matt, did you finish saying what you were trying to say, or did we cut you off?
Yeah.
Please proceed, sir. I'm sorry.
No,
Shut the fuck up, Steve.
It's really quick. Like I said, when I picked it up, it was immediately like I could see me playing this again, but obviously I don't have access to it. You know, so that's why I didn't really put that time and effort into it like I should have. Like I did, and I saw what it could become, and I looked up a little bit of gameplay, researched a little bit what happens later on. Not too much, but it was one of those that's like, if you have the time and you have the hardware, why the fuck not?
Well, quite frankly, I'm obviously excited about this game. I love this game. It's one of the ones that I can sit and play for hours without saying a word to anybody else. Steve asked me earlier today how I managed to get so many kills. I kind of just told you all the secret. The truth be told is, I told you guys way before, when I get into a game, I go hard. I go hard in the paint. And it's like, you just kind of watch Kadawfi Crush melt away and just become one with the game.
One with the game.
It's ridiculous. Like I'm not saying I'm a better nerd than you guys. I'm just saying when I decide to nerd up on something, I'm stuck for a while. You're not getting me back.
So like honestly, what
are we ranking this?
Hold on.
45 out of 10.
45 out of 10.
You can say final. I was going to say final thoughts for you because you were the one that did.
I did my final thoughts. Yeah.
I say replayable, fucking A-OK game.
Maybe not make your character balding this time.
Fuck no.
Shito
The
Liquid Gold Shito.
Fuck that. But how you can kind of play this game multiple different ways and doing all the other shit. The small nuances of the game, I think it's fucking a great game.
Oh yeah.
Kadawfi?
Again, like you were saying, the small little details, the ranging way that the stories can go, it's actually quite impressive. Especially if you get into the village and find out what's really going on in the Tsukane village, find out what's really happened. I mean, oh shit, you were walking right past that the whole time. There's just so much to it. Like the people who worked on that game, I don't think anybody half-assed it anywhere. I don't think anybody half-assed it. I mean, yeah, okay, the backgrounds aren't as pretty as today's standards. You know, you don't see the individual blades of grass. You know, you're not chopping down bamboo shoots and stuff like that. But at the same time, man, I mean, what little you have, just it goes so far. Kind of like when we did Secret of Mana. You know, the graphics aren't that great, right? It's colorful, and there's a lot to the game. So, you know, I definitely recommend anybody who has never played Way of the Samurai, put your hands on it. Put your hands on it one time.
Just, it's going to cost you a little bit. I'm going to tell you this. I felt like that was a dig on some new kind of samurai game. We're not going to name names. But you really don't need the best background or the best... Well, you need a good environment, but you don't need the best graphics to make a fucking game amazing.
Yeah, I mean, really, you don't. I mean, I'm gonna share a quick little story about my nerdy ass. Super Nintendo, there's a game called Nintendo Way of the Ninja. It is a ugly fucking RPG, but mechanics is what keep me there. It's a little 2D Final Fantasy-esque style RPG where you get to be a ninja whose clan was destroyed by Nobunaga, the Iga ninja, if anybody knows that story. You get to be like the last one of them, and you get to go through the world collecting people to travel in your party with. You're not collecting the substandard people that they put out there for you. You're finding randomized characters, just like the randomized weapons that people drop in Way of the Samurai. You're finding like a randomized monk or a randomized ninja, a ninja from an opposing clan, things like that, people that you can hire or that you can beat the shit out of and make them hang out with you. I love those kind of mechanics. I'm a fan of like, let me do what the fuck I feel like doing and follow your story as I desire. I'm a big fan of that. Guys, any extra closing thoughts before we head off?
Fuck Coda.
Just because you pulled out a sword on a little boy who was holding the stick doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
Hey,
You're the asshole in the situation, my friend.
Hey, everybody.
I'm MattMatt.
I'm Liquid Gold Steve and pull the strap every time. Pull the strap every time.
I'm Kadawfi Crush. Don't be afraid to apologize. You guys have a beautiful night. This has been The Fighting Couch Potatoes.